just like the clouds. Clouds are pretty cool. Clouds are really epic today. Holy shit. Sorry. Good going now. That goes around. Won't bother with that. There we go. Not as many workers as I thought. I thought they would have been packed. Our parking lot is about, 25% empty. You can also go walk down this way in the morning or evenings, and if you follow the sculpture trail by taking a left, you can get onto the sculpture trail. There's a little trail that'll take you around the perimeter fence. So you can park up here at, say, Rome Free Academy and take a little evening walk or an afternoon walk, since it's getting to be that time of year where it's chilly. This right here is a bad intersection. I'm impressed that after school's let out, or when kids are going to school, that no student's been hit by a car. When the light here turns green, even after pressing these nifty little pedestrian signs, people still fly through the red light.
Wait.
Daily. But in the daytime, cops are virtually non-existent.
25.
Go ahead. The Fairfield by Marriott. I'm not sure, but I think the Air Force personnel for the Eastern Air Defense Sector still stay here. I'm not sure on that. And that's Rome Free Academy on the hill. It could still use a lot of trees because this school has absolutely no coverage. No protection from the elements. None. And yes, I'm concentrating more on the clouds than I am the landscape. Let's go down. Notice the color of the trees. Atlas Drive, dark circle. See, they need more trees like this on RFA. They should plant a lot of cedars because the top of this hill, all throughout winter, gets a lot of wind. Of course, what do they care? They're inside a brick building, paid for by taxpayers, so who cares what the cost is? It would just look nicer. It's just so open. Maybe they do that for some sort of a ridiculous security reason. And yeah, it's pretty windy. So I'm probably gonna mute the rest of this, amen, and add some music. Look at that tree. That's pretty cool. I just like the clouds. Look at that cloud. Look at that truck. But I just don't understand this because the Parkway has a speed limit of 30 miles an hour. It needs more sculptures. And even when schools in session, rename it. I usually refer to it as Patriot Park. Little clouds. By the way, that orange sculpture, yeah, they got to get rid of that on the trail or move it. It's just so stupid they put it there. A lot of people with large bikes like mine, they're usually crashing into it all the time, or they got to go around it. But I don't know, whoever's idea it was to put it there, yeah, that was kind of dumb. Another thing the sculpture trail could use, maybe around the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, is a gazebo. Now I know what you're thinking, yeah, it'll get destroyed, but just put a metal gazebo up. You don't need an environmental study. You don't need a traffic study. Just build it. See what I mean? I mean, there's a speed limit, but man, cars just ignore it. I just don't understand why they put a speed limit along here. 35 miles an hour. Really? Tell them that. Easily doing 15 miles an hour over that. I don't know. I guess the city of Rome really does not need the money. Now, if this were a small town or village, it'd be handing out tickets left and right. But I think in the daytime, the city police here really don't care to pull over cars because, oh, they don't want to put up with the stress and the aggravation of drivers going to and getting out of work. Excuse me for my French, but that's bullshit. $35 miles an hour, huh? tell them that. I mean, I can see doing 40, 45 maximum, but you're going anything over 45, yeah, you definitely get a ticket. No, Egan's doing about 45. Truck drivers go slow, they don't have a choice. Especially with these roundabouts, which people like my father don't seem to understand, but truck drivers do not care for roundabouts, especially the ones here on Griffiths, because they're just too narrow. And when a truck turns on these roundabouts, it takes up both lanes. But what do I know? According to my parents, I'm not very intelligent, so what do I know? That's the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, privately funded, and I've got a few videos of the Vietnam War Memorial. I'm not going to go up that way because I've been at the doctor's all day and I'm pretty tired. It would be a much better image without the power lines, though. These utility lines just ruin everything. Back in the 90s, they said how the country by the year 2000 would have no visible power lines. Well, I'm still waiting. This is Ellsworth Road, and basically you can park down that way and take a walk, and there's a parking lot farther down, just a few hundred feet ahead, right across from the defense. something. What, nobody's home at the Rome Sentinel? Well, the Daily Sentinel now, which is actually a pretty sad newspaper because they put very few articles in it dealing with the city of Rome. I mean, Rome, New York really does not have any news whatsoever. Unless it involves a shooting, a murder, something along that line. Rome is pretty much non-existent, even in local news. Especially since there is no Rome Sentinel anymore. The Rome Sentinel is now the Daily Sentinel, which concentrates on Utica, New York. And funny enough, all these news companies in Oneida County publish the same exact news. It's all the same article. So if you buy the OD, there's no need to buy the Daily Sentinel. You buy both papers, there's no need to listen to local news. But what do I know? As my parents always will comment on me, I don't know much. I don't know about you folks, but for some reason I got an inkling that we might get some snow showers in a week. Wouldn't that be funny? I can still recall one time on going trick-or-treating when I was a kid, and there was like 4 inches of snow on the ground, and the temperature was like 20 degrees outside in the evening. And me and my brother were the only ones that went trick-or-treating in the entire neighborhood. There was nobody out.
eagle.
That's the only sculpture I like is the bald eagle.